Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. A lone senior police official has refused to submit a courtesy resignation in line with the DILG's directive to do so at the start of the year. Let's get more details from Maricel Halili, who's joining us via Zoom from Mandaluyong City. Hi, Mase. Good afternoon. Did the DILG name the senior police official? And what happens to him or her after the non-compliance with the submission of the courtesy resignation?
Hi, Sean. We actually asked Interior Secretary Ben-Hur Abalos about the identity of this one official who refused to submit courtesy resignation, but they refused to reveal the identity of this particular police official. However, he said that he's not a general. Well, he's a man, for one, and number two, he's a colonel. PNP Chief General Rodolfo Azurin mentioned that it's the prerogative of the said colonel if he doesn't want to submit a courtesy resignation. And Secretary Abalos also clarified that he was not forcing the police officials to submit resignation. It must be voluntary, so he respects the decision of this colonel. It doesn't mean that since he did not submit courtesy resignation, he will receive sanction. It doesn't mean that way, or it doesn't mean that he will receive sanction right away. He will still be part of the monitoring or the lifestyle check and the investigation of those who are in charge of the monitoring of the police organization. And the next action will all depend on the result of the investigation.
Right. Now, speaking of blind items, Mase, we have DILG Secretary Ben-Hur Abalos finally revealing most of the members of this five-man committee that will review these courtesy resignations of ranking police officers. Can you talk us through the names of who makes up this five-man committee?
That's right, Sean. As we all know, Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong is the first member of the five-man advisory group. Of course, we have the PNP chief himself, General Rodolfo Azurin. It means that, the appointment of Azurin as one of the members of the five-man advisory group simply means that they did not accept his courtesy resignation. And Secretary Abalos mentioned earlier during the press conference in Malacanang that they feel that General Azurin will have a good contribution when it comes to the probe of these police officials, because he's the one who is most familiar with the organization itself. So he will be really helpful. Aside from Mayor Magalong and PNP Chief Azurin, another member is former Defense Secretary Gilbert Chodoro. He is a top-notch or a bar top-notcher. And Secretary Abalos said that he is one of those people that you cannot question the integrity. And the fourth member is retired general and presidential advisor on military affairs under Secretary Isagani Neres. Now, the fifth member, Secretary Abalos, said that he cannot reveal the identity of the fifth member as yet because the fifth member refused to be named. But Secretary Abalos said that they still have to discuss this. He has to convince the fifth member that he has to reveal himself for the sake of transparency.
All right, looking forward to that big reveal. Now, Marcel, let's move on to another topic. We all know this by now. President Marcos is going to Japan. I think this is next week. This would be his 9th foreign trip in just 7 months in office. What can we expect from this trip?
Well, President Bongbong Marcos will be leaving for Tokyo, Japan on February 8. He'll be staying there until February 12. This will be his first official visit in Japan upon the invitation of the Japanese Prime Minister. On the first day of the president's visit, the president will be having a meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan. They are expected to discuss the bilateral and regional issues and of course, enhancing the relationship between the two countries, especially that Japan is the second largest trading partner of the Philippines. But the Department of Foreign Affairs clarified earlier that they will not talk about the Japanese fugitive named Luffy. It will be a case that will be handled by the Department of Justice, and the DFA said that it has nothing to do with the official visit of the president, so they will not discuss that. What they will discuss is more about business matters. The DFA said that there are about 150 business delegations who will join the business delegation who will join the president during his trip. About 7 bilateral agreements will be signed. This will include agreements on agriculture and education and technology and on trade. The DFA said that they are hoping that we can actually expand our export products that we can distribute to Japan to help in improving our economy. This will include our local products like bananas and avocado. About the delegation of the president, he is expected to be joined by the First Lady and former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo and his cabinet secretaries, mostly his economic team.
All right. Now, after returning from his last trip to Davos, the president said that after this Japan trip, which is his 9th foreign trip, he said it would be the last for a while because he needs to get work done here in the Philippines. Does this still hold true, Mase, or has the president's plans changed?
Well, if we will believe the president, he said that he's planning to lessen his foreign trips. But we still don't know what are his plans in the next few months because we heard invitations coming from different countries like France. And of course, he has to attend the ASEAN Summit and the APEC Summit. And I heard that he is also planning to visit some ASEAN countries and some Asian countries in the future. He might visit US as well. But let's wait and see if he will push through with his trips.
All right, just one quick question, Mase, totally unrelated. This on the topic of more appointments to the cabinet. After yesterday's appointment of Rex Gatchalian as Social Welfare Secretary, can we expect more permanent secretaries to be appointed to his cabinet soon?
Well, only President Bongbong Marcos can tell if he's also planning to appoint a more permanent appointee in those departments like the Department of Social Welfare and Development. But if we recall, President Bongbong Marcos also mentioned before that let's wait because there are, well, it's a fact that there is a 1-year ban for those candidates who run during the presidential election, the senatorial elections, who might be appointed. We don't know, but it's usually the trend that they are still waiting, or they are just waiting for the 1-year ban to end, and then they will join the government again. So if there will be more reorganization, more reshuffle in the cabinet, we don't know. We have to wait and see. But if we check on some positions, there are still some positions who that do not have permanent appointee, like the Department of Health. Although earlier, Health OIC Yusek Vergere already mentioned that she is ready to take the responsibility of being the health secretary, and we're still waiting for the response of Malacanang regarding that matter.
All right, thank you so much for all those updates across different topics. Maricel Halili reporting to us live from Zoom from Mandaluyong City. Thank you, Mase. Moving on to the family of slain Kuwait OFW Julie Biranara receiving a new house from the government. In an interview with Sa Totoo Lang, Overseas Workers Welfare Administration Chief Arnel Ignacio said that the order came from President Bongbong Marcos himself. The government also vowed to provide more assistance to the bereaved family. Marcos Jr. visited the wake of Ranara on Monday.
Bago umalis si Senator Mark Villar, binulungan niya si Presidente. Si Presidente na nagsabi na ang pamilya ng Nara ay mayroon ng bagong bahay. We promise every day we will try our best to provide them with a wonderful miracle.
More stories still to come after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. Single ticketing system across the National Capital Region. Under the Metro Manila Traffic Code, local governments will implement uniform penalties and fines for erring motorists. Violators can pay their dues online or through their respective LGUs. Metro Manila Council President and San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora said that NCR mayors have agreed to amend their respective ordinances to align with this new traffic code by March 15.
Kasi meron tayong existing ordinances ngayon which prescribe our current traffic violations and corresponding penalties. Hindi pa yan nagtutugma ngayon dito sa current Metro Manila Traffic Code which we just passed. So that is what the city councils will have to do. Na kailangan mag-harmonize yung Metro Manila Traffic Code pati ang aming individual traffic code sa aming mga lungsod. So dadaan yan sa session, magkakaroon yan ng mga public hearings. So ito yung prosesong.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas estimates inflation in January to clock in between 7.5% and 8.3%. The central bank attributes this to more expensive power, water, and oil. The upper end of the forecast range would be faster than the 14-year high inflation of 8.1% tallied in December, and the quickest since the 9.1% print during the global financial crisis in November 2008. Authorities are joining forces to look for the Cessna 206 plane that went missing in Isabela. One team is spread out on 4 commercial vessels at the port of Santa Ana in Cagayan, while another group is looking for the aircraft off the waters of the port of Macunacon in Isabela Province. Aside from these, aerial and ground searches are likewise ongoing. The plane carrying 6 people went missing on January 24. And after a 3-year hiatus, a Grand Panagbanga Festival kicks off in Baguio City. The Philippine Military Band headlined the opening day parade, which drew a crowd of hundreds. A landscaping exhibition and a drum and lyre competition for elementary schools were among the highlights of the Flower Festival's opening day. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.